The markets are going wild today. Do they smell the money printer? The S&P 500 makes an all-time high for the 26th time this year. Or did it actually make an all-time high? NVIDIA becomes the second most valuable company in the world after its CEO signed a woman's bra. GME shares were halted again, up 33% today. The Roaring Kitty is out for blood as he's holding a live stream tomorrow on YouTube. Now doesn't necessarily seem like the best time to short the market, but that doesn't stop Kerrisdale Capital, who says that Bitcoin mining is the worst business model on the planet. We'll see how that works out for him. Welcome to Bitcoin Daily. I'm Dante Cook, head of Swan Business. The markets have been absolutely wild today. So wild that the sighting of a woman's bra, like Jensen Huang, CEO of NVIDIA, is a rock star or something, catapulted NVIDIA stock to over $3 trillion in market cap, making it the second largest company in the world. But you know what might be crazier? A cat typing on a keyboard. I'm just kidding. But the Roaring Kitty did put his paws back on the keys, announcing that he's going to have a live stream tomorrow on YouTube, which sent GME shares in a frenzy. Up 33% today, the shares were halted yet again, and his position is now worth over $300 million because he hasn't sold a single one of his June 21st call option. There's companies that are talking like he's manipulating the market or something by sharing his stock thesis on GME and why he thinks it's a valuable gaming company. But haven't people like Jim Cramer been doing this to millions of retail investors on live television for the last 2 decades or so? If the Roaring Kitty isn't able to pump his bags in Reddit forums or on YouTube live streams with GME, then how can Jim Cramer go live on television with Gary Gensler, the chairman of the SEC, and promote bonk and osmosis?
No, should we have a sushi swap with maybe an ETF or the proprietary kind? Just I would think that bonk is a natural and osmosis. These are trading Gary. These are millions of dollars. These things are traded. Shouldn't we have it? Shouldn't we have some sort of product?
It's very clear that the SEC has pretty much lost all authority that it ever had, if it had any. Most 90th birthdays are supposed to be celebratory. But this marks a pretty sad day for the SEC because just a month ago, they issued a Wells notice to Robinhood announcing that they would be investigating them for offering unregistered securities on their platform. And you know what Robinhood did? They stuck their middle finger right towards the SEC by buying the largest existing crypto exchange, Bitstamp, for over $200 million today. Robinhood announced their ambitions to take on Coinbase to be the global leader in the crypto market, and even rumored to be building their own Layer 2 to compete with Coinbase's base platform. Both of these companies took their eye off the ball because originally they were Bitcoin-only exchanges with good ethics, good morals, and good values, but have lost their way to VCs and gambling, the era of the culture that we breathe these days. You know, one fundamental difference about Coinbase and Bitstamp is that Coinbase focused primarily on the United States market before expanding internationally, and Bitstamp did the exact opposite by starting in Europe. And speaking of Europe, the European Central Bank, and our show favorite, Christine Lagarde, announced that they were cutting rates just one day after Canada becoming the second G7 nation and central bank to announce that they're cutting rates. For those of you who don't think that this is a coordinated show, you must be out of your mind. But nonetheless, the markets took that news and ran with it as the S&P 500 made its 26th all-time high in 2024 alone. But did it actually make an all-time high? According to Bitcoin News, the all-time high of the S&P 500 was actually in 1929, the year of the Great Depression. When you account for the M2 money supply or the amount of currency that's been created, the S&P 500 at the currency that it's been denominated in has gotten less valuable, the dollar. The markets are anticipating that the United States, along with other markets, are going to begin cutting rates as well. So when you see news about bras getting signed and kitties putting their paws on the keys, announcing live streams sending stocks to the moon. Do you think that this is a right time to short stocks? Well, that didn't stop Kerrisdale Capital from saying that they're shorting Riot, and Bitcoin mining is the absolute worst industry and business model that they've ever seen.
Yeah, I mean, I think our investment thesis is that this sector is just not going to be around in 5 years. Bitcoin mining is one of the stupidest business models we've come across in our time short selling over the past 15 years of running Kerrisdale. Basically, barriers to entry are zero. Companies from all over the world can buy these ASICs from China, take them next to a waterfall in South America and get much cheaper access to electricity, and be a lower cost producer. And basically, if you look at the economics behind all the Bitcoin miners in the United States, they don't make money. They just issue shares to pay themselves, a healthy stock comp and buy more ASICs and, never really generate a return. And the whole thing sort of a scam. And we sort of published on Riot today, plan to publish on more, as this whole sector ultimately goes to zero.
You can't make this up. Riot is up over 7% today and looks to be ripping higher, just one day after Kerrisdale announced that they were shorting the stock. You know what they say. You play fiat games and you win fiat prizes. I want to leave us with a couple thoughts, because you see, what Kerrisdale Capital and many other people fail to see is that Bitcoin is the only game and only thing that's worth investing in right now. You might see news about BlackRock and Citadel creating a Texas stock exchange to compete with the New York Stock Exchange. And in doing so, they're going to be building their own layer 2 tokenized financial protocols. And they're going to be developing layer 2 applications on Ethereum next to ETH developers like Brian, who people actually entrust their money to, who just today uploaded their private keys to a GitHub repo and had all of the money drained from his account in less than 2 minutes. The rest of the crypto industry is just an illusion. It's just a mirage. Sort of like China having the largest waterfall in the world, which most people never had the guts to actually go and see whether that was true or not. Well, a random hiker, while hiking on a mountain, noticed that there was a water pipe running through the mountain to the edge of the cliff face. There's your waterfall. It's literally manufactured, fake, not real. Like the water pipe, crypto is an illusion, and there's no real value there. When you hear talk about tokenized finance and blockchain solutions and layer 2 technologies being built on Ethereum's protocol, run. Don't invest your money, and don't think that that's a sign of the future. Don't think that a protocol like Bitcoin, which is built to last 1,000 years, a protocol that's stable, that shows you its true colors and true value every 10 minutes in a verifiable blockchain, understand that Bitcoin is the only real and true value in the crypto industry right now. Everything else is just a game. Don't be distracted by GME, Jim Cramer, Bonk, Osmosis, Coinbase, Robinhood, Bitstamp, or BlackRock creating tokenized financial products via the Texas Stock Exchange. Understand that that's all noise. You have to find the real signal through all the noise, and that continues to be Bitcoin. So hopefully, unlike Dave Portnoy, who I know will be gambling tonight as the playoffs start, you're just going to be humbly stacking sats, minding your own business, being productive, creating more value than you consume or spend in the world, and saving the excess into something like Bitcoin through a platform like Swan.com or other Bitcoin-only financial companies. This is the way. It's the real way. Don't be fooled. And with that, we're signing off for today. This is Dante Cook with Swan.com. Happy stacking.